Hello everyone, John Turnbull, Powder Blue Sports, and today we're going to play some Week 2 action from the Buckeye Basketball League, the fictional league that we have going. And if I'm not mistaken, I picked E9, which is the highest number of potential 3-point shots. The scoring is still going to be the same. It's just a matter of how many 3s, 2s, and 1s are going to be scored and how many points are scored off of each of those categories. Week 1 is done. I did pre-play 2 games already in Week 2. I took 2 of the games that had the greatest point spread. So game 1 here between Dayton and Cincinnati, it was a 25-point spread. And the final was a 25-point spread. Cincinnati winning 115-90. And that moves Cincinnati to 2-0 and Dayton to 0-2. And Dayton was not in it from the start. Cincinnati had 4 arcs aside from their point advantage. So there you have it for game 1. And then I played game 3 between Canton and Columbus. Columbus came in as a 13-point favorite, and they beat Canton like a rented mule, 119-83. Columbus moves to 1-1. Canton moves to 0-2. So there you have it for those 2 games. So the 2 games I'm going to play today have a little bit closer point spread. Let's see here. I'm going to play this one first between Cleveland and Akron. We've already got the scoreboard set up. And Akron will come in as a 9-point favorite. And as you can tell, I've got the color-coordinated paper holder for baseline basketball with orange. And I actually got some orange dice out today. So we're all Tennessee'd out, I guess, and ready to go here. So let's start with what we got. Here's to show you what I did here. This is the cards that you're going to get when you print them out. This is how they're going to come. And you can either use a PDF editor on it, or what I did is I took these plastic sleeves. There is a link to that in the Baseline Basketball Facebook page. I printed out a sticker, taped it to the front, and I probably could have made it a little bit taller, but then you just put the card inside. So next year when Akron goes to they're a 112-96 team, so if they go to different numbers next year, all I got to do is take the card out, put the new one back in, and they are all set to go. So Cleveland's up first. They roll a defense 11 on Akron, which is paint. Paint roll a 5, DP 5 is a 6. And before we start here, let's figure out the TSA. 5 and 8 for Cleveland. So that'll round to a 6. I always drop the half. And 5 and 5 for Akron. It'll be a 5 plus 3 for the home field advantage, and I'll give them an 8. So I'll just put 1 in the first 8 for Akron and 1 in the first 5 for Cleveland. So that'll give Cleveland 7 points to start. And why isn't my macro buttons working for this? We'll just go there. There's little macro buttons underneath the thing here that is supposed to be able to use, but for some reason they're not working, so I'll have to look into that. But that's okay. I'll type them in as we go. Okay. Akron with their first segment of the game. Offense 15. That gives them an arc of 8. And Arc 8 is 15 points, plus 1 is 16 for their segment. So they are up 16-7 after 1. Cleveland gets the ball. They roll a defense 11. On Akron's, that'll be a paint 7. DP 7 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And then that'll give them 16. Akron now rolls a defense defense 7 for Akron. That'll be a paint of 8. DP 8 on Akron is 10, plus 1 is 11. So at the end of 2 segments, 27-16 is your score. Give me a second here. I'm going to sign in. It just didn't look like I had to sign in to see my chat, but I usually don't go live here, so I'm usually recording. And let's see if this is going to work here. And of course, the old 2-step verification. All right, sign the Powder Blue Sports, and let's see if we've got anybody. It doesn't look like anybody's in the chat at all, so we'll continue on for the last segment in the first. Offense 10 for Cleveland. Offense 10 is a free throw. Offense free throw 10 is 8 points, plus 1. I was like 7. Offense free throw 7 is 5 points, plus 1 is 6. So Cleveland not even getting single or double digits in any of their segments here early. And they go into the end of the first quarter with 22 points. Akron already has 27 with a roll to go here. They roll offense 11. Akron offense 11 is paint 5. So OP5 is 8, plus 1 is 9. That gives them 36 for the quarter. And at the end of 1, it's 36-22 in favor of the Akron White Walls. Let's go to the second. Let's see if Cleveland can get back in the game. Offense 8. That is paint 9. OP9 is 12 points, plus 1 is 13. So they finally get the double digits. So they'll be up to 35. And Akron rolls an offense 11. That'll be paint 5. OP5 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So they do gain a few points. It's a 10-point game now, 45-35 into the second period. Cleveland, defense 8. Defense 8. Ooh, that's a free throw category with a low number to boot. DF4 is 0, plus 1 is a 1. So Akron gets a chance to increase their lead. They get an offense 9. Offense 9. Ooh, that's a free throw, but they got a 10. So offense free throw 10 is 8 points, plus 1 is 9. And that puts them up to 54. So they're up 54-35 here as we near halftime. Defense, 6 for Cleveland. Luckily, that's a paint. 9, DP9 is 10 points. They have now lost their score adjustments after the first 5 segments. Let's see. So that's 10, 24. I see the question here. I'll answer it here at halftime. 10 is 45. And Akron. Defense, 9. Defense 9 is a free throw of 6. So a DF6 is 3 plus 1 is 4. And that'll give them 58. So at the half, it is 58-45 in favor of Akron. So it's 18-4, 22 points in the quarter, 24 points in the quarter for Cleveland. So they did gain 2 points in that quarter. Do you have any head coach openings in the BBL? Because I'd be more than happy to coach a team. Coaching a team is, you could roll for your, with proof for your qualities. You could even, if you had a home game, roll it. I probably would not be opposed to that. Something I haven't looked into, but for right now, this is a solo venture. But nothing says that we can't look into that sort of a co-op partnership with this. I know there are a lot of co-op leagues that do real life. I don't see many co-op leagues for fictional, but who's to say it can't happen? So that's a good question. So let's go on to the third here. Akron holding the 13-point lead. They were a 9-point betting favorite going in, so they are covering the spread. Cleveland rolls a defense 13. Defense, just missed an art, so they get paint. 10, that would have been a biggie for them. DP 10 is 11 points, and they are up to 57. I'm in Jason's football for the Patriot Football League. I've been in that for several years. Back in the day, we used to be able to draft our own players, but he's kind of moved the off-season to a more of a dice roll strictly to determine what happens with each teams. That's not to say that if we wanted to fire our coach or dictate what we wanted to do with the money, that's possible. So, and I do think after I've made the postseason rules, going from season 1 to 2, there are some things that I have probably omitted on there. Most importantly, rolling to see if a team folds or see if we add any teams. So, so maybe some people can claim these individual teams as we go. And when the wife messages, you reply back. Okay. Akron. Let's see here. We got 11 points for them, so they're up to 57 for Cleveland. And Akron, they roll a defense 11. Defense 11 is paint 5 plus 1. DP 5 is 9 points. Plus 1 is 10. And that'll give them 68. So they're up by 11 now. Cleveland rolls another defense, 11, which is paint, but only 3. DP3 is 2 points. That's not going to help them much. That'll put them up to 59. And Akron keeping them at arm's length here. Defense 7. Defense 7 is paint. Paint 10. DP10 is 12 plus 1 is 13. And Akron is now starting to run away with it. They beat Columbus their first game 105-90. So they're up to 81 right now, midway through the third quarter. I'm also rooting for Indiana tonight. Offense for Cleveland, 8. Offense 8 is paint. Paint 5. OP5 is 8 points. You got to get some bigger scores than that, Cleveland, if you're going to think about winning or even climbing back into this game. So they got 21 points in that quarter. And Akron rolls a defense 8. Defense 8 is a free throw 7. DF 7 is 4. So they got back some points out of that. So we'll give Akron 85. So there's your score at the end of the third quarter, 85-59 in favor of Akron, 23-27 points. So they got 6 more points up on Cleveland, and we got 3 to go. Defense, 8 for Cleveland. That is a free throw. That's not going to help them. That's the third one of the game. 6. So defense, free throw, 6 is only 4 points. This is Indiana wins it all. I don't think Miami can hold an Indiana team like this. Miami really shocked everyone in the playoffs, beating Ohio State and Ole Miss. I would agree with that. Indiana's defense is vastly underrated, and even their offense is. I think they got an overall great team this year. So that's who I will be rooting for, plus proximity, or I'm in the next state over. So let's give... Okay, I screwed up. I didn't update their score on there. So Cleveland actually has 71. Akron has 85 going into this roll here in the third. Defense 10. Defense 10 is paint 5. DP 5 is 7 points. And that'll give them 92. And we are actually now into the fourth quarter. Offense, 8 and 5 is 13. That is an arc, but only a 3. My goodness, when you get an arc, you get these low rolls. That's just demoralizing. It still gives them 9 points. And that'll put them up to 80. Okay, Akron. Is there any breath of life left for Cleveland here? Defense 12. Defense 12 is paint 10 with a high paint number. DP 10 is 12 points. And they break the century mark. They are now at 104. So they hold a 24-point lead going into the last segment of the game. Offense 5 is 11. Offense 11 is paint. Paint 12, though, is 15 points. So they finish with a flourish. They score 95. And they will score, 13 and 15 is 28 for the quarter. And Akron, offense 12 is 15. Offense 15 is an arc 7. Offense arc 7. They also come back with 15 points. And 27-34 in that quarter. So your final from Akron is the White Walls 119. Cleveland 95. I didn't get a chance to play the playoffs. I've just been too busy with the other stuff. I played the finals or played the playoffs last year. So Ohio State the card that they got was just absolutely insane on offense. So let's go ahead and do the individual scoring here for both teams. So I already have the names written out on there. So player 1 corresponds with Hale for Cleveland. He has 10 and 14. So he had no rolls of 10 or 14 at all. So Hale is shut out. Probably one of the reasons why Cleveland lost, or at least didn't cover the spread, is because their number one scoring player, Cleveland losing, looking like their football team. Exactly, I love it. Okay, Vider. Let's see what he's got. He has a 6 and a 9. 6 for 10 points, and that's it. Dracon 3, 4, and 12. You look over the AFP rolls to see if they had 3, 4s or 12s, and nothing. Holy cow. Dragonoff 8 and 18. There's an 18 for 6, 2 8s. That's 20, and 2 more 8s for 32. So Dragonoff, the high score in the game for 32. Vexlan, player 5, he has a 15 and a 16 with nothing. So we got 42 points from their starters, which means they got 53 points off the bench. And Akron, their first player, Drex, 10 and 14. He has 7 points. McKnight has a 6 and a 9. He has 2 9s, so that's 13 points. Solano, 3, 4, and 12. He has a 12 for 12 points. Lorne has 8 and 18. He's got an 8 for 4 points. And Sarnoff looking at a 15 and a 16. There's a 15 for 16 points and another 15 for. So he scores 31 points. So we've got 20, 32, 36, and 31 is 67 points from their first 5. 19 and 33 is 52 points off their bench, as opposed to 53 for Cleveland. So there you have it. Cleveland losing 119 to 95. And Cleveland moves to 1 and 1. And Akron moves to 2 and 0. All right, so now we'll go to our second game of the doubleheader here. I don't know if... Oh, I thought I said... I read the message wrong. Sorry, it looks like Cleveland's losing their football team. No, they're not going to move again. I'm a Patriots fan, but man, oh man, the Texans scare me this year. They really, really do. Let's change the cards here. So this game features the Hamilton Cogs against the Toledo Glass. Hamilton is a 114 and a 104 for a 10-point plus differential. Toledo is a 110 and 96 for a 14-point differential. Toledo will come in with the home field advantage as a 7-point favorite. The TSA will be a 2 and 8, so that'll be a 5 for Hamilton. And then 5 and a 0 will be a 2 plus the 3, so they also have 5, and 3 is for the home field advantage. So both teams have 5 adjustment points. And let's bring in the new scoreboard here with Hamilton and Toledo. Okay, I see what happened. The cells are wrong for the scoring. Okay, I see that. I'm going to have to fix that next time we go here. Hamilton, Toledo. Let's put some logos in here. Cover up those And if you follow Jason Graham's channel at Flash Football, I created a Colorado league for him, which he'll be starting pretty soon. It's an 8-team Colorado league. So look forward to seeing that in the coming weeks as he starts his fictional basketball league, and also Dave Gardner's league, which is basically a copycat of this one, except he only has 6 teams and mine has 8. I'm actually playing a 20-game schedule, or 20-week schedule. Every team will play 20 games, so we'll see how it goes out here. All right, so let's start game number 2 of our doubleheader. Hamilton Cogs against the Toledo Glass. Hamilton is 0-1. Toledo comes in at 1-0. Hamilton rolls an offense 11. Offense 11 is paint 5. OP 5 is 8 plus 1 is 9 points. So it's a solid start for Hamilton. Toledo rolls an offense 10. Offense 10 is paint. 11 is 14. Plus the 1 is 15. So Toledo takes the early 6-point lead. Defense 8 for Hamilton. Defense 8. Ooh, it's a free throw. That's not good. Defense free throw 7. DF7 is a 4. Plus 1 is 5. And that only Toledo gives them 14 points. And I'll just say right here, the tower I'm using is a 3D printed tower made by Victor Wenzel. It works fantastic. It has many touch points to disrupt the dice before it even hits the tray. And it has a lip on it that fits right onto the trays that I have. So it's a neat addition to have. Okay, Toledo, let's roll their second segment here. Defense. That was a shameless plug there. That's my version of having advertisements during the stream. Defense 12 for Toledo is paint, almost an arc. DP 10, 12 points. And I'll give them 13 with the addition, and that will give them 28. The lead grows to 14 points already. Toledo could go to 2-0 with this and be one of they are probably the second highest rated team in the league, only next to Akron, who has a plus 16. Offense for Hamilton. Hamilton isn't chopped liver. They have a plus 10. So offense 11 for Hamilton. That is a paint, almost an arc. 7. OP 7 is 10 points. Plus 1 is 11. And that puts them up to 25. All we need is one bad segment from Toledo to get Hamilton back into this. Offense 11 for Toledo. Your advertising for sports ad. Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. Offense 11 for Toledo is paint. 10. OP 10 is 13. 14 wham, man, oh man. 3 solid triple-digit segments for Toledo. And they go up 42-25 at the end of one quarter. We now move to the second. Nigel, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's see here. We start Hamilton off with an offense 13. Will it put them into the arc? Yes, it will. And they got a 9. So let's see if what they got. 15 plus the 1 is 16 points. That jumps them up to 41. And they come off the break here with a vengeance. Let's see if they can put the press on Toledo here. Offense 9 for Toledo is a free throw. Offense 3 throws 7 is 5, plus 1 is 6. And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, we have a closer game, 48-41. Let's see if Hamilton can keep up the momentum. Offense 13, just like we had last time. That's another arc for Hamilton. And a 12. Holy cow. Offense arc 12 is 17 plus 1, 18 points for Hamilton. That actually may end up giving them the lead, depending on what Toledo has. That puts them up to 59 points. Holy cow. 2 straight high-scoring arc segments for Hamilton. Puts them right back in the game. Defense, 6 for Toledo. That's a paint. 8. DP 8 is 10 points, plus 1 is 11. And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, we have a brand new tie ball game as we reach the end of the second quarter. Defense, 8 for Hamilton. Ooh, that's a free throw. 5, that kind of takes the air out of their sails here. DF5 is 2 points. And both teams are now out of their score adjustment additions. So Hamilton limps into the last couple minutes of the quarter here, limps into halftime, scoring 61 points, but they did score 36 in that quarter. Toledo, defense 12. Defense 12 is paint. Ooh, very close to being an arc 7. DP 7 is 9. And Toledo has regained their lead, 68-61. And they scored 26. So Hamilton did still outscore them by 10 in that corner. I should play the Super Bowl matchup once that time comes. I will probably be able to do that. So if you haven't seen Jason Graham, again, at Flash Football, he's already played the Drive Time Football 2025 playoffs already. He had a Super Bowl game this morning. So if you want to go look on his channel, you'll see all the, I won't give you any spoilers, but he has played the playoffs completely. Okay, we're going to go to the third quarter. In our second game of the doubleheader, we actually have a game in this one. Okay, offense 10 for Hamilton is paint, 9. OP9 is 12. The rest of the way out, we have no additional score adjustment points. So it's just what you have on the roll. We'll go. Let's see here. Offense 9 for Toledo. Ooh, that's a free throw. OF9 is 7 points. And just like that, Toledo's lead shrinks to 2. Offense. Ooh, there's a high one. 16 for Hamilton. Offense 16 is an arc. With a 7, offense arc 7 is 15 points. Giving them 88. And Toledo will now roll for their segment here in the middle of the third quarter. Offense 9 for Toledo. Oh, that's a free throw with a 2. Holy cow. OF2 is a big fat bagel goose egg. They will stay, ladies and gentlemen, at 75. And Hamilton has gone on a 27-7 run after halftime to take an 88-75 lead. Offense, 12 for Hamilton. That is another arc with an 8. Offense, arc 8 is 15. That puts them over the century mark at 103. Holy cow. So 12, 15, and 15, 42 points. They cancel out the 42 that Toledo scored in the first. And let's see if Toledo can claw back into this. They roll a defense 11. Defense 11 is a paint 6. DP 6 is 8 points. They score 15 and a quarter. And it, just like that, is a 20-point lead for Hamilton. They outscored them 42-15 in the third quarter. I just love the ebbs and flows of this game. There's nothing like it. You've got action in every single segment. All right, 3 more to go here. Defense. This may be your first upset. I haven't, of the 6 games I've played so far, 7, every team that was the betting favorite has won. This may be the first game where we have the upset occur. So defense, 11 for Hamilton. Defense 11 is paint, 8. So DP 8 is 9. And that puts them up to 112. And defense 8 for Toledo. That is a free throw. Holy cow. I think Toledo is just giving up. You can see the fans already headed for the exits. Defense 8, free throw of 9. So a DF 9 is 6 points. And that gives them 89. And the fans are also trying their best to hit the concession stand and grab a few beers on the way out as well. Hamilton, offense, 11. Offense 11 is paint of 6. OP 6 is 9 points, which will give them 121. Again, they average 114 a game, so they are a high-scoring team offensively. Toledo, offense, 11. That gives them paint of 8. OP 8 is 11 points. And Toledo has now broken the century mark, and actually we are in the fourth quarter. And we are in the last segment of the fourth quarter. Defense 9 for Hamilton. Defense 9 is a free throw. Not sure it's going to matter much. DF 8 is 5 points. And that will give Hamilton 126 and 23 points in the quarter. There's no 26-point segment, so Hamilton has secured the first upset of the season. Offense, 13. For Toledo, that is an arc of 6, which would give them 14 points. So 31 for the quarter, and then it'll be 14. So your final from Toledo is Hamilton 126, Toledo 114. 31 in the quarter for there, 126, 114. Okay, let's put the score in here. Hamilton, 126, 114. Hamilton moves to 1-1, and Toledo moves to 1-1. So the way the divisions pan out here, Toledo, Dayton, Hamilton, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's 2-0. Toledo, Hamilton, both 1-1. Dayton 0-2. And in the I-71 division, Akron is 2-0. Columbus and Cleveland 1-1. Canton is now 0-2. Going to be a Hamilton fan. Is it the Cogs? Yes, it is the Hamilton Cogs. That is the back in the day, Hamilton, Ohio was a very highly industrialized industrial leader. So, thus the Cogs. So let's figure out the points for this. Alvarado for Hamilton is a 10 and a 14. 10 for 12. That's it. So Alvarado with 12. Montoya is a 6 and a 9. He had a 9 in the final for 5 points. Maddox is a 3, 4, and a 12. There's a 12 for 15 points. Price is a 13 and an 18, 2 13s for 34 points. No 18s, so 34 for Price. And Varick, 15 and 16. It's a 16 for 15 points. So we got 20, 32, 62, 66, 81 from their top five. So it looks like they got 45 points off the bench. And Carvajal for Hamilton is a 12 and a 14. There's 13 points, 22. And that's it, 22. Aranda is 3, 10, and 16. There's a 10 for 15. 3, 10, and 16. And that would be it. So 15 points for Aranda. Delroy has a 9 and a 17. There's 6, 13, and that's it. He had another one, but it ended up being a goose egg. Crosswell, 8 and an 18. Here's an 8 for 6 points. And Luo, the center from China, a 4 and a 7. No points. 37, 56. So we got 44 and 58 points off the bench for Toledo. So there you have it. Week 2 is now in the books. Let's see what we got for week 3 here. We've got Toledo at Cincinnati. Cincinnati 2-0, Toledo 1-1. Dayton at Hamilton. Hamilton should be the favorite there. Columbus at Cleveland. They're both 1-1. And Akron at Canton. Akron 2-0, Canton 0-2. So there's your schedule for week 3. I'll put the individual scoring up on let's have the leaders here. What I do is at the end of each week, I have an individual tally sheet to put the top 5 scorers in, and then I will put those into the spreadsheet, and I got to work on the rank function so I can get those into a nice format to display and easily configure and calculate, so I don't have to do a whole lot of extraneous clicks. So I can get that up on the website here on the Facebook page. So there you have it, week 2 of the Buckeye Basketball League. Thank you for joining me.